Jackson, back in the light of our Brazeera Cyber Network. Well, today we're going to discuss a subject matter that is very, very sensitive to females. I'm not talking about hemorrhoids. I'm talking about menopause. And from what I understand, this will be the decade that, out of all the history of womanhood, this will be the decade that will see the most women going through menopause. And from my understanding of the subject or the experience, I've taken some notes, okay, and I hope they'll be helpful to you. And I believe menopause is a time where mind, body, and soul begin to come together. It's a time where you hear in most realms of spirituality when they say the person is becoming whole, they're becoming complete. It is the epitome, the culmination of a woman's total life, okay? And like the Brea tar pits, if there's any deficit throughout her life, it will bubble up at that time. So while you're young, I would advise you to build a solid foundation so that when that time comes, it will not take you through the spin cycle, so with such difficulty. Another thing too is that a woman can begin to experience menopause from her early 30s to all the way to 60. And those who will begin to experience it at 60, that's pretty good. That's a pretty strong woman, I would say. Anyway, as I said, it's a time about mind, body, and soul. And a female would have to get that her body has to, that she has to become whole without a key component that her body has relied on biologically throughout her life, a hormone called estrogen. Okay, there's a decrease in her estrogen level. Okay, so, and that change, lowering the level of her estrogen can wreak havoc on her mind and body. Okay, it can be a time of terror in her life. Okay, menopause is a life change, okay, for most females, for all females, and it's a time when the female begins to get a new attitude. Her priorities change. She's no longer focused on the things that, you know, that may even brought her joy in the past. It's a time for focusing on herself, an inward perspective, observation, examination, if you will. Okay? And one by which she will begin to get a new perspective on life. Okay? When I was a student, one of my professors wisely advised me. He said, you know, no one should ever depend on their body solely because it will fail them every time. And menopause is one of those times where the body begins to be not the focal point. And so the female needs a stronger foundation to rely on because it's more of a mental transition than a physical transition. So, and now, so now once the female begins to demonstrate the telltale signs of menopause, okay, it's a time to apply all the knowledge that you've ever gained. So gaining knowledge is very key. Learning to eat right. What foods do what? What vitamins do what? So the youth should be a time for a learning process, because when that change comes, oh, there's no going back, okay, unless you have built up, like Hansel and Gretel left some breadcrumbs along the way, okay? Because those deficits, when they pop up, like in America, the bread tar pits, that don't look too pretty, okay? Unless you can get that together. Okay, um, so, um, as you can get the knowledge together, that you use the knowledge that you've gathered throughout all your life period, um, in your youth, okay, and so that you'll be able to build your body back up. As I said, the proper nutrition. Oh, exercise. Oh my gosh. If you can keep it together when you're young, up until your 30s and mid 40s, you're going to be pretty good, okay? Because your body won't go too far from that. It won't, like they say, the apple won't roll too far from the tree, and the child won't stray too far from their teachings. Well, your body, it won't stray too far from your regiment, okay? So, and exercise also helps with stress. Oh my gosh, I could pop myself, because stress, oh, that can do so many things. Okay, that can bring, I've known many women who the stress level have gotten so high that it brings about anxiety, and that's an overload, an overabundance of stress. Okay, so learn to relax, breathe. Oh, yoga. Oh, stretching. Not only will it get your body back, baby girl, but it will also help with the stress. Okay? So, what else? Okay, so as you mature and the body physically begins to wind down, it is the mind that must be able to compensate, okay, for the imbalance. So, as the body begins to decline, okay, or go through its change biologically, the mind must be prepared to get it to the, go the long distance, if you will. Because in the beginning, the body supported you. You didn't really have to work on it. Now, you got to work on that, okay, to keep it up. Okay? And you can still look good, trust me. Eyes be knowing. The eyes be knowing. We're on the second page of what I have to say to you. Okay, so we said, okay, I said, oh, okay, the mind's got to carry you through. So you got to have a strong mind. What you do in the, what did I say? What you do in the, what you do in this window of change, because it can be a positive change. Menopause, from my experience with my mom and my grandmom, my aunts, and not my uncles, but when you say aunts, you generally want to say uncles, but no, they went through with my aunts, and my dad with my mother, and of course, I told you my grandfather said, and that was, when she was going through her change, she kicked the devil at the house and commenced to kicking my ass. So, that's the type of change, and as I said, it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but I did want to say that, because I like hearing it. Okay. Now, what you do in this window of change is totally up to you. But I would definitely advise you take advantage of this time. It's a beautiful time, a growing period. Okay, so the change will determine how well you survive menopause. So what you do in this window of opportunity will determine how you will survive menopause. Some women's health decline in this period. Some women take this opportunity as a vacation from, the past life, to past experiences in their life, to get themselves together and build up their health and rebuild their bodies, mind, and soul, as I said. Okay, so and the implication of your mind. Well, what I say, I said. So what you what you do in this window would determine your change, how well you survive menopause, and the implication of, or the rebalancing of your mind, body, and soul, putting kind of the blocks together in perspective. Okay, so now, remember, there we go. Remember, in the past, program, okay, remember, what did I say? Okay, remember in the past, programs when oh yeah, in the past, when I talked about my true love and all that during Ramadan, okay, we said he put, in one of his letters, he put, the body came first in the spirit, and after going through, the, okay, so, and then now I'm putting it in another perspective, because I say after going through the window of change and the reconstructing, I hope I said it correctly, reconstructing, it should be spirit and mind, then your body. The body would be last at this point, so it will be the reverse, of the initial stage of development, okay? The final stage, or, will be where we focus on our mind, okay? And that's really a beautiful aspect of life. For me, I think it's the most beautiful aspect of mind, the maturing of oneself, okay? Um, so, so now we put it the reverse, so spirit, or in the mind and the body, which is why the menses is on pause, okay? The body is on hold. The man is on pause. You put the man on hold. No, that's not really what it is. Menses is on pause, on hold. Okay? During this process. Okay? But you still get, let me tell you something else. PMS, every 3 days. Okay? So be ready. Be prepared. Okay? Emotional state every 3 days. Okay, the mind is shaken, but not stirred. To coin the phrase, 007. By the biological stresses, stress-filled imbalance, because Old Faithful doesn't blow. Um, the life cycle during the menopause is a life change. It leaves the female with a new perspective, as I said, and a new attitude, because um, she is now complete in the reconstruction of her biological and physiological, well, and spiritual wholeness, and spiritual being. Okay. Others who, now this is very, very significant, okay, and what I feel is very, very crucial and critical to the survival, the mental survival of the female at this time is very imperative, okay. Others who claim to be extended family members or even family members, they abandon the sister, okay, the sistership, due to their own weakness and insecurities. So when you see another one of your sisters going through this menopausal change, whether you're too young to experience it or it's your mother, and you see her changing, don't panic. Just ask, Mom, what are you feeling? Mom, what are you going through? Or Sister, what are you going through? What's going on? And maybe you will see she may not even know what's going, because it kind of creeps upon the woman like something from the darkness. It just tiptoes. You don't even see it. You don't hear it, and certainly don't smell it. Okay? So just ask her what's going on, and she may tell you her symptoms, and you may observe them, and she may be going through menopause, even at, as I said, as early as 35. Okay? Now, abandonment. Abandonment leaves the female. It has its own psychological issues. It makes the woman feel vulnerable. Very, very vulnerable. And I don't care how strong she is. Menopause will turn a woman upside down, inside out, and around the corner, and in and out, and whew, it's beautiful, but it don't play. Okay, it don't play. Now, so it makes her feel vulnerable and alone. Okay. Now, it'll make her say, "I want my mommy." Now, so there's a lack of understanding about this experience, especially female issues are generally throughout history have been misunderstood. Okay, because females have always been giving, 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 giving. They really are very self-sacrificing. they really don't tell you what the issues are, and most times you don't even understand it because they speak a whole nother language because um, they really don't have an avenue to channel this experience through a language to channel this experience through. You know, you can talk about, for example, psychology. Psychology in the past was not even considered a science. I don't even know if it's considered a science today. It's part of the humanities, but I don't know if it's a science, but as far as I'm concerned, if it involves a character or aspect that's embedded within man, it's a science, okay? And if it has a structure to it, it can be categorized as a science. So, as I said, menopause, though it's a physiological experience, or biological experience, and it's a female issue. Most times, it's not even discussed, not even really cared about, and even most, unfortunately, physicians don't even understand it. Okay, because it varies from female to female. Okay, it's her own like character, like personality. It has its own, you know, take on each in the individual woman. So there's a lack of understanding. During the transformation, it is critical that the maturing males or the maturing female have a good, strong support system, whether that be family, friends, church, mosque, synagogues, whatever. Strong, solid support. Love her at that point. Okay? Although, unfortunately, okay, when most women are in the physical and emotional um, flux, the only aspect of her life that does not change is her spirituality. Okay, so as I said, the most thing that's not in flux is her spirituality. So that's very imperative too. I'm going to wrap it up right here, and we're going to do a part 2. So, Salamu Alaikum, Lalinda Jackson, Al Brazeera. See you in part 2.